Sad and somber day here at the University of Colorado. First day of spring football, but of course the tragedy, the news last night of Dominique Ponder's passing, heavy on the minds and the hearts of the players, the university, everyone who came out here today, really. Where do you want to start with the press conferences today? Brennan Marion, Yo-Yo, DeKalen Taylor, Ben Finneseth, RJ Johnson spoke on the podium after an abbreviated and obviously an honoring practice for Dominique Ponder.
Yeah, man, first things first, man, rest in peace to Dom Ponder, man. Sending nothing but prayers and love to his family, his friends, everybody who has known and loved him. Such a tragedy, and I just hate to see a young loss of life. Somebody who was full of life like Dom was, man, always smiling, always laughing, always making those around him feel great and feel better. As it relates to today, we heard from Brennan Marion on the podium for the first time today. Obviously, a somber mood. He had to kind of hold back tears, a few different times, and he's been through this as a coach, as a player. He's talked about that
too many times,
too many damn times. But that doesn't make it easier, right? Having to go through this situation again. But Marion talked about it. All the players we talked to pretty much today talked about it, right? That Coach Prime held the meeting yesterday, kind of asked the team, do y'all want to work tomorrow, or do we want to take a day off? And the kind of consensus of the team was that they wanted to practice, they wanted to work, because that's what Dom would have wanted to do. He was a worker, he was a grinder, so that's what they went out there to do today. Coach Marion said that they didn't, as a coaching staff, they weren't out there rah-rah yelling at guys, coaching as hard as they could have, for a reason, right? They wanted to make sure that guys were getting quality reps in, running on and off the field. But that's what it was mostly about today, right? Getting your kind of feet wet, getting out there, touching the grass for the first time this spring, and just feeling together as a team, because the entire group is obviously grieving through a tough situation.
Yeah, just a little bit of normalcy, right? I mean, getting back there, obviously first day of spring ball, but just any type of relief from the thought of what happened over the last 24 hours and how everyone is, grieving and coping with all of that. Yeah. Brennan Marion, he was great as always. He had so many awesome quotes actually up there on the podium. Just talking about how Dominique basically, pretty much every play from the playbook put in the flashcards.
That's so elite.
I mean, it really is.
A ball lover.
Yes, exactly.
A ball lover at its core. And that was something he talked about today. Like that Dom are the guys that they're trying to get in this building. Dudes who just love football. And love
their teammates, too. He told a story about how he always picked up Keneal Sweetwine every day before practice. Obviously, Ben, DeKalen Taylor, RJ, Yo-Yo, all very emotional. I mean, especially Ben and DeKalen. I mean,
definitely.
Dominique was their guy, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But also, Brennan Marion just talking about Dom's work ethic. I think that's the thing that really stood out in today's press conferences. That's really how this guy is going to be remembered. His grit, his toughness, his competitiveness on the football field. For a walk-on, too, right? Like, he didn't even have to be here at all. And he's been here, as RJ said, 3 years, just like he has it to this point. So,
definitely. Brennan Marion dropped the bar today, as he so often does. He goes, adversity won't break us. It'll help us break records.
Yes.
And Ben Finneseth kind of had something similar, where he goes, this situation can either mold us or tear us apart, and it ain't going to tear us apart. And that's kind of where I think this team is at, and obviously a tragic situation, a tragic loss of life. But this could potentially serve as a galvanizing kind of thing for this team, right? We talked so much about last year about kind of the lack of leadership, the lack of team camaraderie, the lack of team bonding. And it seems, again, as tragic as the situation is, could serve as something that could bring this team really, truly together on a different level, more than just football. And we've already seen some kind of evidence of this team taking a real emphasis on the team bonding, the team chemistry part of things, right? We had Yaya today, Yo-Yo, tell us that, every weekend they do player-led workouts. And right after that, they go get breakfast together as a team. Trackhawk was telling us today that a group of 7 of them, open book, it's open door, right? They go to church together as a team. And that type of stuff is cool, especially on March 1st. When this is when it begins. Right. If you want to have success in September and October, November, this is when it begins. So you love to see hear those type of anecdotes from the players.
Totally. On practice today, I mean, obviously, just a different day, right? A challenging day. Day one also anyways, too. But Brennan Marion said it was, they coached today how you would coach your children almost, really more so out of love as opposed to, teaching and the screaming and the yelling. And, there was some intensity they mentioned and, breaking it down on Dom and all that as well. Like, it was very much a football practice, but clearly so much more on the minds of the coaches and the players and everyone else in the program. He praised them for going out there today. Said it was pretty amazing that they went out there and were able to work. Someone like Yo-Yo, he's mentioned like he's a 14-hour flight away from home. He needed today really just that sense of normalcy too, and I think that's really the greater sentiment. Ben Finneseth talking about his grittiness, his competitive. He was really close to Dominiq Ponder. So yeah, just a sad day here at the University of Colorado. You got anything else?
I really don't. But I will also just say too, man, I just thinking about this team, and I mentioned at the top, thinking about his Dom's family, but obviously his team, right? That quarterback room in particular, right? Guys like Juju, guys like Keneal Sweetwine, who you mentioned earlier, who Dom took the workouts pretty much every day. Going into a position room when there's a seat that should be filled that's empty, like that's gonna hurt for a long time. So, like I said, I'm praying for everybody involved. I'm praying for his loved ones, his family, his teammates included as well. It's a tragic situation, but it's always gonna be RIP Dom and long live 22.
Obviously a bit of a developing story too. We'll be here all week for spring football. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Rest in peace, Dom Ponder.